Let's go! Hip-hop, letters of the alphabet are consonants and vowels. Hey,
So nobody sees a problem with this? We need to talk about Jack Hartmann. Hi YouTube, welcome to the Antiracism Academy. I'm Brandy Blocker Anderson and I'm a lawyer, teacher, activist, and the mother of an adorable 3-year-old named William, who actually introduced me to today's topic, Jack Hartmann. If you have a young child who watches YouTube, then you're probably familiar with the kids content creator, Jack Hartmann. With nearly 2 million subscribers on YouTube as of the date of this video, and a website that sells kids content and merchandise, the former social worker turned kids songwriter is beloved by many parents and teachers alike for his educational yet catchy songs and music videos. But in this video, we're going to talk about one of the more unsavory aspects of Jack Hartmann's videos: cultural appropriation. In this anti-racist media literacy analysis, we're going to discuss whether Hartmann's use of hip-hop and black aesthetics in his videos is an example of cultural appropriation or appreciation. Let's start by defining cultural appropriation and appreciation. In the simplest terms, cultural appropriation occurs when members of one culture or identity adopt elements of another culture or identity. Cultural appropriation perpetuates racism for a number of reasons. First, it allows members of the so-called dominant culture to profit off the cultural traditions and artifacts of marginalized cultures, while simultaneously denying marginalized communities those same opportunities. Second, cultural appropriation is harmful because it can be highly disrespectful, regardless of whether the person doing the appropriating intends it to be or not. Finally, it reduces people of color to stereotypes and caricatures. People of color in their cultures are not costumes to put on and take off at will. When we, as teachers and parents, cherry pick the most fun or exotic aspects of another culture to expose our kids to, we run the risk of leading our kids to believe that that's all the culture amounts to. In contrast, cultural appreciation is when someone seeks to understand and learn about another culture through cross-cultural connection and exchange.
Early on, like shortly after posting it, some people were saying that what I was doing was cultural appropriation, just because I don't look like what you would typically picture an Irish dancer to look like. I mean, my understanding of the term is that it means when you're taking something from another culture, claiming it as your own without recognizing where it comes from, and that's couldn't be further from what I'm doing. Like, it's important for people to recognize that there's a difference between appropriation and appreciation.
Classy, bougie, ratchet, sassy, moody, nasty, acting stupid, was happy.
Cultural appreciation requires that you learn, listen, and strive for understanding of another culture to honor its beliefs or traditions. As a bonus, let's throw in the definition of cultural assimilation. Cultural assimilation occurs when members of a marginalized group assume the values and behaviors of the so-called dominant group in society, usually out of necessity. Now let's turn to the topic at hand. Comment below, do your kids watch Jack Hartmann? In many of his videos, Jack uses hip-hop aesthetics to teach preschool concepts. Now, it's not Jack's use of hip-hop in and of itself that's problematic. These videos are an example of cultural appropriation because Jack Hartmann's portrayal of hip-hop aesthetics makes a mockery of a celebrated and respected aspect of black culture. In these videos, Hartmann uses black culture as a costume that apparently consists of a baseball hat, sunglasses, and several chains around the neck. This elderly white man looks absolutely ridiculous in these videos. And that's his goal, to make it look ridiculous. He doesn't have to dress this way, he's just using black culture to spice up his videos. Going back to our definitions of cultural appropriation and appreciation, it seems that Jack Hartmann's videos fits the bill for appropriation. First, he makes money off adopting a hip-hop aesthetic. Yet, there's no evidence that he's ever connected with, involved, or ever paid any African-American writers or musicians to help him put these songs and videos together. And I like to believe that none of his black friends will let him go out looking like this. Not only are his portrayals reductive and mocking, he's not the one who has to bear the brunt of his irresponsibility. It's black children. I could be wrong, but I'm willing to bet that the majority of his audience is white children who are learning that it's okay to make fun of black culture. Comment below if you're black and a non-black person has ever approached you using a stereotypical hip-hop phrase like, yo, what's up, dog, or otherwise try to awkwardly relate to you using hip-hop culture. Jack Hartmann's depiction of hip-hop is clownish. It shows a lack of understanding of Black culture and fashion. For example, Hartmann seems to think that hip-hop equals doing this and wearing lots of chains. What he doesn't realize is that many within the hip-hop and larger Black community have been actively pushing back against this form of hyper-materialism among rap artists.
21 Savage no longer wears jewelry. Buying houses, investing in businesses, crypto and youth startups is what he want to make cool for young rappers to do.
Many rappers come from economically marginalized backgrounds, which lead them to spend money they don't have on custom jewelry that has no appreciation value.
When you come from nothing, like when you grow up and you never really have nothing to show, and you make it out of that situation, it's natural for a person to celebrate and be happy. Man, I remember I didn't have nothing, and now I got all this money, these cars, jewelry. We live in a 2-bedroom apartment. It's six of us.
In the end, when their record labels come to recoup the money they've loaned the artists, many rappers end up in financial ruin. Is this really the aspect of hip-hop culture we want to be playing up in our kids' content? The bottom line is that Jack Hartmann can teach the alphabet rap and all that jazz without the chains, hats, and sunglasses. And if you're looking for hip-hop style educational videos by a Black creator, please check out the Anthony Broughton's YouTube channel. And if you'd like to learn more about how to analyze kids' content for racial bias, there's a link in the description to download a free checklist. Please support this Black business by subscribing to this channel, liking and sharing the video, commenting below, and power to the people fist bumping that notification bell to be notified when we post new videos. This has been the Antiracism Academy. I'm your host, Brandy Blocker Anderson. Thank you so much for watching.